Hey, Strong Girls. I'm Molly Herford, sports journalist, ultra runner, cyclist, and author, and founder of Strong Girl Publishing.
And I'm Dr. Sasha Golish, executive director of Yellow Running Shoes, a researcher, engineer, elite runner, and your BFF who's breaking down the science of smashing barriers in women's sports.
Think of us as the intersection of science and culture for women and girls in sport. Each week, we'll dissect the latest headlines and cutting-edge research on female athletes.
Debunk myths about girls in sport. Talk about how hormones affect performance at every age, to the latest research in sports science around mental performance, nutrition, equipment, and so much more.
And we'll spotlight badass girls and women who are rewriting the rules of the game, sometimes literally.
Expect it to be nerdy.
And occasionally TMI.
But it will always be honest.
Whether you're a strong girl yourself or you're raising one, this show is for you. Welcome to Strong Girl Talk,
where sports science meets sisterhood.
All right, back with Strong Girl Talk. I'm Molly Herford, here with Dr. Sasha Golish. Sasha, how are you? I feel like you have been literally all over the world in the last week.
I did just get back from Portugal. I'm kind of laughing at myself. We went to Portugal to watch Dax play the World Beach Ultimate Frisbee Championships. He unfortunately separated his shoulder shortly after we got there, but I was then so thankful to be there with him. And anyway, if you love sports, this is part of it, right? I kept saying to people, this is part of loving sports. You have to love the whole part of it. And not to say oh, I was so happy that Dax got injured, but no. But it's part of being an athlete is these injuries happen, especially in this no contact kind of sport. So highly recommend the Algarve in the off season. Please don't go there in the high season. I can't imagine how expensive it would be. And just actually for you and I as introverts, I can't imagine how busy it would be. But we need to go. Oh, people, there would be I just remember looking at my hotel room and I would say to Raw, I was like, can you imagine how busy it is here in the summer? This must be packed. And it was silent. What was super cool was the game started pretty early in the morning and I had purposely booked a room overlooking the beach so that we could see the tournament from our window. And there's something so joyful in hearing people play sport.
I love that. Although I feel like I would definitely have FOMO. Hearing people doing sport outside of my window would be a little tough. I'm not gonna lie.
But I had already I was back in my room to having done the beach walk to drink the coffee. Yeah. Sorry.
Perfect.
It wasn't
perfect.
Otherwise I would be can we do the sport? No. A lot of sport happened while I was there.
I believe it. Yeah. Well, that kind of leads neatly into what we wanted to talk about today, which is, it's American Thanksgiving this week, kind of the kickoff of holiday season. And because that we know it's a little corny to talk about gratitude and things that we're thankful for and kindness. But you know what? 'Tis the freaking season. And before we hit record anyway, we were talking about the fact that our relationships with running definitely, ebb and flow over the years. I was saying my sister asked me if running ever stopped sucking, and I told her no. Despite, you get faster, you get stronger, but it just sucks in a different way. And then you actually counterpointed me on that. So talk about how you've really. And you said it, and I was like, that is such a beautiful script flip reframe of running for you right now, and I love it so much for you.
Yeah, so I just can't physically run as fast as I used to. So it just doesn't, in essence, it just doesn't suck as much and it's just different, right? Before it was chasing goals, getting over, and even if you did an easy run, it was still, I'd have to say that it sucked. There were definitely joyful moments, but it's just very different. I was just in this state of flow, okay, this sounds so bratty, cruising around the Algarve and running up these rocks and looking over sandstone and limestone and beautiful blue ocean. And my heart, I just can't get my heart rate up that much. So you have this joyful appreciation for it. It was, oh my God, it was the greatest gift to have it in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to wish, as we were just saying with Dax, you don't want to wish an injury on anyone.
No.
But I do think there is something that is kind of magical about as an athlete when you are dealing with an injury and the comeback from it that actually is really magical because when you first start running or whatever sport you're doing, you make these gains and you kind of don't appreciate them, right? You really only
Totally.
feel like the hard work, the grit, the difficulty that goes into it. And when you get injured, you suddenly are realizing just how much your body was doing for you and what it can't do right now. And then when you get through the really tough part of it, you do start having gratitude for the little things. And as you make the comeback, every little bit becomes just so much more special, honestly, in a way. You see it in a totally different light. You actually appreciate it instead of just thinking like, why can't I do this? Or why, I should be doing this. You're so psyched that you can do anything at
Well,
first.
and okay, and such a good point that you just brought up. I was like, oh my gosh, kindness, right? Like, I could totally have the self-comparative lens of like, oh, I should be running at this pace and doing this and that and whatever. Or I can just like have kindness and appreciation for like, oh my gosh, like what a cool way to move through the world.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I will say this kindness, this gratitude, all of that, this is all part of our upcoming Mirror Diaries series. We have book one, Mirror Diaries Finding Grace. That's our sort of fiction middle grade novel that's really following this girl along her journey of self-compassion and kindness and gratitude. And there is an accompanying workbook, Beyond the Mirror. We'll include links to those in the show notes. And because we are hitting Thanksgiving, the holiday, um, we have a gratitude practice in there. And honestly, I've been really reminded of that this week too. My mom just had a surgery and I've been definitely tuning into my own gratitude practice. And honestly, I've kind of been really nudging her to lean into one as well. Because with recovery, I think it's so easy to you're through it, you made it. It's really easy to immediately kind of go back to the negative of like, this hurts, this sucks.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think she sees it as strongly as I do, just this intense gratitude that she made it through and it went as smoothly as it did. So trying to kind of nudge her into seeing like, here's the good part of this. Like you're up and walking around, and that's incredible. Um,
Totally.
so yeah, I am so deep in my gratitude practice this week. I cannot stress it enough. Really high in my cortisol mode as well. But you know what? With an undertone of gratitude.
Um, remind me the sweatshirt that like the saying on the sweatshirt that Vanessa came up with.
Oh, limited edition. Yeah, I am a limited
Oh,
edition. So good.
well, and but like and it's like as you're like as we come back from injury, like thinking about your mom and the gratitude practice, right? Like this like limited edition of time and this like limited edition of like who you are in this moment. And that's I actually think that's a really cool way to like start your gratitude practice. Like I am this limited edition, which is like you get to talk about like all the things. It's like an ego practice too. Like these are all the reasons why I'm so wonderful.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny. I was just listening to another podcast that was talking about how we don't really brag about ourselves to ourselves, right? Like we might do our highlight reel on Instagram and, tell people about the stuff that we're doing, but like when was the last time you actually like looked in a mirror or just, sat with your journal and were like, "Oh, I did a couple really cool things today and I'm pretty proud of that." Or this thing actually, yeah, I'm psyched that I got that done or accomplished that.
And big and small things. Okay, so I like timely. Like I'm going through this right now. So on Monday night, I was at the She Is Gala, and then on Tuesday morning, I was at the Ontario, the Coaches Association of Ontario. Got it right finally. Their report launch, and I took my Pan Am Games medal out. Right, like I have a major games medal. And I often like don't celebrate that, and I was so shy to take it out at the table at the gala, but most people don't like get to hold a major games medal, right? And I feel like I'm an egotistical jerk when I bring it out, but they don't see it that way at all, right? Like you can humbly talk about your journey and like anyways, I did actually hold that medal in the mirror before I gave the speech on Tuesday morning as like you earned this. Like this is an incredible accomplishment. And so when you stand up in front of everybody speaking this morning, like use that chutzpah, that confidence that you stepped up with the start line to like speak with confidence to the group as you share your multi-sport journey and how much you love it. Like have gratitude for all of that.
Ooh, I think chutzpah might be my word of 2026. I like
Chutzpah.
it.
And don't forget the ch. The ch.
We're gonna need to work on that. I love it. Side note, I'm a little mad that you got to go to a gala because I believe I told you 2 weeks ago that all I want to do is get invited to
I
more
know.
galas, and I
I
still
know.
have zero gala invitations, Sasha. No gala invitations.
I wanted to invite you, but I knew that you weren't here, so I didn't want to invite you and make you feel bad. But now I just feel bad.
Next gala. Next gala.
Okay, so and maybe I'll host one because like as I like think about my retirement party and it'll be a gala. But so Diana Fox Carney was there, and super cool. So Mark Carney's wife, and like I shouldn't just say like Mark Carney's wife, but Mark Carney is the Prime Minister of Canada, so like people can identify with him. And she's a runner. She does prefer shorter distances, just so you know. She's definitely not into the 100 milers. But for her 60th birthday, she ran a 26K trail race with Mark. Like that's what she wanted to do for her birthday.
I'm still furious about this because that's the race that I bailed on
Oh yeah, sorry.
because I was
I'm
it,
making this worse.
you are
Yeah,
honestly like had
kindness and gratitude failing. I'm
I've
failing.
now blown two chances to get to meet this woman, and I'm so upset about it. It's fine. It's fine. That weekend worked out as it was supposed to, as it was meant to. Everything happens for a reason. It's all great. Furious. Continue.
So the it was She Is the Future. It's She is this charity and not for profit here in Canada and the US. So like had my moment. Diana finished her speech with "She as is unstoppable," and I was like, "What? Who? What?" And okay, so brave fan. So I'd written a card to her, being like, "Hey, I know how much you believe in like girls and women's sport, and through like a climate friendly lens and bringing more activity to more girls." Anyways, so I gave her a copy of my journal. So there is still hope, right? Like third time's the charm. I have hope that this is like the connection that like all of a sudden like we get to go for a leisurely run with Diana to talk about the benefits and the self gratitude, self compassion when we move our bodies.
We're manifesting this for
I am
2026 right
manifesting
here.
this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I am so when I saw that, I gave out like I little squeal when I saw your story saying that. I was so excited. I sincerely, I mean, honestly, yeah, ending her thing with Unstoppable, how could you not hand her that journal? So, very, very proud of you.
Because I'm an introvert like you, and I had to have so much self compassion to actually go hand it to her.
Which, you've read the Beyond the Mirror workbook. You're ready for it. You've got this.
I did. Thanks, Vanessa. I practiced all the tools that night to like actually, and I had a great, like I chatted with her for 5 minutes before she left. Like she really, is that definition of kindness and gratitude and like really, I, she really wants to pay it forward and make sure that the world is a better place for everybody, particularly girls and women who like still face these incredible barriers to accessing sport or exercise or just moving their bodies. So, yeah, incredible leader, incredible woman.
Love it. It's giving Michelle Obama vibes, and that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Actually, you have a note here that you've been thinking about kindness and gratitude with leadership. So I feel like that kind
Yeah.
of lends itself to bringing that concept up. What are you thinking here?
So, I mean, for a long time, like male dominated leadership was like power over. Like, I'm going to tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it. And I mean, I can't remember who I was talking to today about. Oh, it's Raw. Actually, I was talking about it with Raw. Like, if you put your coaching hat on for a second and you want high performance, like that is absolutely not the way that you would coach, right? Like, you coach through a lens of like empathy, kindness, compassion, and not niceness, right? Like, kindness is holding somebody accountable. Niceness is letting them off the hook. And I think, I go back to an earlier episode where we talked about like when, like puberty and periods, right? Like niceness is an athlete comes to you and they're like, "Hey, I've got my period." Nice is go sit on the bench. That's not actually inviting them in. Kindness is like, "Hey, what do you need?" Right? Like maybe they just want, like we talked about, maybe they just want to tell you, maybe they want to modify something. And so, I was thinking somebody posted something on LinkedIn yesterday about servant leadership. And it was sad. It was about, losing their mother and how she was, the greatest servant leader that she had ever met. And I wonder if in this servant leadership conversation, we need to talk more about kindness and gratitude, right? Like, I really think about empowering people. Like, when I work in the research that I'm doing and I'm working with students, like, I want to empower them. I'll hold their hand if they want, but I really want them to tell me what they need. And sometimes I push back and say, well, is that what you want as opposed to what you need? And I just wonder in terms of leadership, like particularly women, where maybe we do a disservice by like being like harsh and callous and like power overish. Maybe we need to do a better job of like power with and power to for leadership. That's very rambly. Sorry.
No, no, I follow. I agree. I think in recent years, it's been a really difficult thing to find the balance, I think, for women,
Hmm.
especially in positions of power, because if they don't take the reins and lead in this more quote unquote traditional way that we've been taught to is leadership, and I'm using so many air quotes here for people listening, uh, in this male dominated space, I think women were taught to lean in to that
Yeah.
style of leadership and then they're punished for it, right? But then on the flip side, if they go with the more permissive, conversational, nice leadership, you could say, uh,
Yeah.
we get blowback for being ineffective leaders. So it's been really hard to, I think, find the balance. And I think you're probably right that the kindness where you're setting, as we say, clear is kind, as we're setting
Yeah.
clear expectations, as we're not accepting uh, shoddy work or
Right.
letting people off the hook, but we're being kind in how we deliver those messages. I think that's probably the winning combination is meeting somewhere in that middle ground of the more quote unquote masculine leadership style versus the more quote unquote feminine leadership style.
Okay, we talked about this yesterday in the Victory Ventures Accelerator. So I'm gonna open this up because there was this like great acronym that summarizes it. So here we go. It is now open. I am scrolling through. Because it summarized it in a way that I was like, oh, this is actually a way that like you can really help people explore who they are, but also like deliver on like your team aims. Okay, so practicing Duolingo today, and I have Max right now, so you like get to have conversations with Lily. So if you've not done Duolingo, Lily is this like ennui. If you've seen Inside Out, she is ennui, and um the question is like, do you prefer to work on your own and in teams? And I think it's managing both of those, right? Like I think you have to have both, but I think again, like there's so much this like polarization of like one or the other, and it's like no, like so much benefit to teamwork, but sometimes you got to go off and like do your own thing, but you've got to deliver it in a way, in a timely manner that like serves the project. So it's not serving a leader, you're actually trying to like serve the impact and the output that you're trying to get to. So okay, I'm not, the word is racy, which I'm like, maybe not the best word, just like in the context of like feminism. But so racy, responsible, accountable, consulted, informed. And it's that informed piece at the end, right? Like, who's the person who needs to know the decision, the action, and the outcomes? And we often forget to articulate that. So we do like a really good job of saying, like, well, who's responsible for this? And who's going to hold them accountable? And then, like, who did you consult for advice? But like, that like holding people accountable to like the decision, the actions, and the outcomes, like, we forget to do that.
Ooh, so good. And I'm so both triggered and like, oh yeah, I do need to work on that. That's a positive for me. The leadership thing is really not my strong point. I'm definitely a team of one kind of gal over here. And I mean, with Stronger Publishing, that's got to be my priority is getting better at this leadership. And I didn't necessarily see it as leadership until you were just saying that. And I feel like I just had a light bulb moment happen here, which is great because I have like a light right
You
behind me.
literally just pointed to the light bulb. I was like, wow,
Right.
well
Um, where while my authors are not working for me, I'm actually theoretically working for them. It I do need to actually lead them if we're going to make this thing actually as big as it should be, we'll say.
done. And so, and maybe, and I mean, I hope I'm different just given the relationship that we have, but like, I see this as a partnership, right? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I need to drive to be like, I think this is the, like, the vision I have and where I want to go. And you, as the publisher, need to be like, this is where we need to go. And I think that's what makes our relationship so special. Like, we do such a good job at like recognizing those things. And when we have conflict, like, we actually really do a really good job of just being like, hey, let's chat. Let's just like have like a 30-second conversation. Like, I think we're having a miscommunication.
Which is, yeah, I think every time has been just
Yeah,
a
totally. I'm like,
miscommunication.
we're just having a miscommunication. Let's just talk about it for 30 seconds because I'm going to do a terrible job at trying to communicate this in text because I just like the words fall apart and I can stumble through a conversation and you like have the compassion and kindness to let me stumble through to like get to the point. Yeah, that's
Well,
why we're a good team.
I think we just figured it out this morning is that you are literal, like you're so literal brained and I'm so, or you're engineering brained and I'm creative brained. So sometimes our messages
Oh
just
my
get
gosh.
lost in translation a little bit. And not in a bad way.
No,
Both
just
of us are
I'm
right.
so
Both of us
literal.
are wrong.
Okay, I gotta tell you the story from Portugal. So we're like driving down the highway, and I was like, oh, like what a great trip. Like it was just so cool to be here. Like what a different way of living. And Raw was like, ah, it's just so. He said something about slowing down. I was like, do I need to slow the car down? He's like, okay, Captain Literal. You are Captain Literal. He's like, no, just slowing down in life. Anyways, I had a great laugh about it. Yeah, I'm so literal. So like I'm laughing with myself,
You're just
at
like on the
myself too.
brake, like, yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
Well, okay, I have a little bit of a lead foot, so like there was an element of like, yeah, I should probably slow down. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a ticket in the mail.
It happens. It happens. Um,
It's Europe.
yeah, yeah. So I do want to come back to, I want to bring us back to gratitude, and I do want to
Yeah.
talk about it through the athlete lens. And I think actually your journal is great for this. And I'm like, where is my copy? I do not have it
I was like, where's
directly
my
next to me.
copy?
Oh no. Um, but I think you even have it in some of the daily practices. It doesn't strictly say name a gratitude, but I think that's really what you are nudging people to in a way that's less like pointed, but it still does make you think through like the what went well, what are we grateful
Yes.
for kind of concept.
Well, and it's and I think people are it's almost okay, toxic positivity. I wonder if it's toxic gratitude, right? Like right, like tell me why you're grateful as opposed to like, oh my gosh, tell me how you had fun today. Or, you know, tell me one thing you might have wanted to do different. Like that's gratitude. Like that's checking in with yourself to be like, hey, how can I be the best version of myself? That's gratitude. That's kindness. Kindness is also holding yourself accountable. Like, oh, I made a mistake. I need to apologize to this person. I need to apologize to myself. I need to apologize to this team. Um, yeah, yeah, we have a new word, toxic gratitude.
I really like that because you're right. I think
Yeah,
we've talked about it, gratitude, self-compassion, these are all super important. But like anything, there is this like toxic side to it because I think
totally.
that's actually something you hear a lot this week. That it's Thanksgiving, you're going to hear
Yes.
everyone talking about gratitude and all this. And I actually was just listening to a podcast today that made me really mad where it was like, be grateful for everything that happens to you in your life because it's happening to you like or it's not happening to you, it's happening for you.
Yeah. When you listen to Mel.
Robbins? Yeah, Mel
Yeah.
Robbins. That would be very up her alley. And to some extent, I don't disagree. I'm not saying like, I like trying to have that side of things, but I think to not say that stuff sucks, right? Like again, my mom just had
Yes.
surgery. Mom had surgery. It, threw off all of our lives. It threw off my work,
Yeah.
my training. I'm away from my husband for the week. Like, I'm sorry. Can I find gratitude in the fact that the surgery went well and that she's okay? Absolutely.
Right.
Can I say that this happened for me? No.
No.
No, I can't. I think that's crap. And
Can we
actually,
also just say it's hard and
yeah,
that sucked?
exactly. So I do think it's you don't yeah, I think it turns into toxic gratitude when it's
Yeah.
like take the crappy thing that happened to you and be grateful
Yes.
for it. Like no, you don't have to do
No.
that. Like flip side, like maybe think of other things that you are grateful for. I'm grateful my
Yeah.
dog got to come down and that he's been having like the time of his life with his doggy cousin. Um, cousin? Aunt. Um, my parents' dog, whatever that relationship would look like.
Dog bud, dog bud, dog bud.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, love of his life. I don't know. Um, they're so cute. But
Oh,
yeah,
I've seen that on the gram.
I can be grateful for that fact, but like I'm not going to be grateful that like she had to have this surgery. I can be grateful that they caught it early and that so yeah, we don't need to be grateful for every bad thing that happens to us or like jam gratitude into every facet of our lives. Um, so yes, this is the Thanksgiving episode. We're grateful, but we're also not toxically so.
And when you like feel trapped in that like toxic gratitude moment, like give yourself the self-compassion to like pull yourself out. You don't have to be grateful. You can be like, ah, I'm a vegan. I just showed up to Thanksgiving dinner and there are mashed potatoes made with milk and there is a turkey and there's nothing for me to eat here. I'm not grateful. This is annoying, right? Like,
I'll just take this can of cranberry sauce and just
okay, my
eat
nephew
this.
actually once did that at 3. Yeah.
I mean, having been a vegan at Thanksgiving, I've definitely also done that.
Chicken jam.
And
We
it
also had to
sucked.
convince him that like turkey, chicken, kids, anyways, turkey jam. Kind of is turkey jam. But and actually, like if I think back, the holidays last year weren't fabulous for me. And I think it was this idea of like you just have to be grateful. And I was like, thanks for the like light bulb, light bulb moment. I'm pointing to my light. Um, I was stuck in this like cycle of toxic gratitude. Like, yeah, like okay, so Harper just licked my ankle. That's gratitude. But yeah, and I worry that from the start, when is Thanksgiving start tomorrow? I'm
Yep.
actually terrible. Okay. That we as of tomorrow through December 25th that like sometimes we pressure people into toxic gratitudeness, toxic positivity. And so I'm I'm glad we sorted out why the holidays sucked for me last year. Hopefully we've shed some light to help some other people. But I just yeah,
Yeah. I think
where did we go
it's just
wrong?
it's a good habit to get into and not one to be
Mhm.
fully like stuck in where yeah, now you're beating yourself up because you're not feeling appropriately grateful. Um, yeah, it's funny. I just did this article for Runner's World. I don't think it'll have come out by the time that this goes live, where I was trying to kind of like, and I interviewed you for it, so I'll include a link to it when it does go live. The one where I'm kind of trying to come to terms with what self-compassion and gratitude and mental performance mean for me in sport, basically. And
Yeah.
a lot of it kind of came down to this idea that I have more work to do on my mental side of things, my mental performance than I thought that I did is pretty much where the article comes together. Not that I'm
Okay.
terrible or anything, but it was the reminder that like we all have so much stuff that we can work on.
Yeah.
For me, it is partially that self-compassion, partially that gratitude, a little bit more mindfulness, stuff like that. You know, this time of year is a great time to be thinking about that, whether you're thinking about it for goals for 2026 or you just have a little bit more free time because we're in the holiday mode. So maybe I can take the extra beat or two to work on my mindfulness. We'll see how that goes.
But so put a coaching lens on it for a second, right? And so I think one of the challenges that I think why I got stuck in this like toxic gratitude cycle was it was the expectation that you have to do it every day. And
Mm.
some like I'm thinking, okay, so back to Duolingo, right? Like this idea of like a streak. But maybe mental performance training for you is like 1 day a week right now. And maybe it's like 3 to 5 minutes. And you grow that skill. And so maybe for people who like struggle with kindness and gratitude, like trying to do this 7 days in a row for X number of minutes, that's a lot. So, kindness and gratitude to yourself, like be kind, self-compassion, like why don't you aim for like 1 minute, 1 day a week? Like that's manageable.
Hmm. Well, and even that, yeah, catching one thought a week and being able to kind of turn that
Yeah.
around. Huge, Huge. And I think as athletes, we do tend to be all in, go, go,
Yes.
go, quote, man up, like all of those things. And it's funny, that was sort of how I started the article was like, do I need to improve my mental toughness? And actually, what sort of spiraled out of that was no, it's not mental toughness that you need to improve. It's actually a lot of these other skills that you would think of as being like, quote, softer, but are actually the things that are going to make me faster in the long run. Long run.
Haha.
Yeah. Like there's no amount of like kicking the crap out of yourself in the middle. Like there was no more self-flagellation I could do in the wilderness that was going to speed me up. But perhaps a bit more kindness would have actually been the key there.
And I think we actually minimize how important that is. And I don't know if important's the right word, but I think kindness and gratitude almost are like these like I'm like a tree over here that's a little bit different than everything else. But like actually it needs to be the oh my God, why am I blanking? I'm like granular A, B of the road. I just got super nerdy. But it needs to be the soil and the grass, right? Like it's foundational. And you actually can't be really, you cannot mentally perform, and quotation marks be mentally tough without that. It's false bravado.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it was fascinating. I talked to a neuroscientist. I talked to you as a high performance coach, and I talked to a sports psych. And it's funny because all three of you came at it from totally different spaces, and it all kind of boiled down to the same principles. It was so cool. It's very fun seeing everything just start kind of knitting together. Um, so definitely we'll include a link to that when it goes live. We talked to our favorite or one of our favorite sports psychologists, Erin Ayala, over at Scotty Sports Psychology. Love her. We'll actually
Love
do
her.
we'll have an episode with her on the Consummate Athlete podcast, sort of talking through that and sort of some of the other new year, new you kind of things. And oh, on the note of New Year, I did want to also just like shout out the fact that, oh my gosh, I'm doing a webinar and then a course with my dear friend Carolyn O'Wellen of Forward Motion Writing. So she's a developmental editor. We knew each other way back when at Dirt Rag. I don't know if you would remember that
Yeah.
magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to do a lot of stuff with her there, and we sort of reconnected. She has been working with women athletes, helping them flesh out ideas for memoirs and nonfiction books and novels and all this stuff. And we were like, oh my gosh, there's this whole host of athletes, as I've been saying with Strong Girl Publishing this whole time, there's this whole host of athletes who have stories to tell and maybe just don't have they've had like write novel or write memoir on their to-do list or New Year's resolution list for years and just never can kind of get get the flywheel going. So our webinar and course are both kind of set up to do just that. One is just a short 90-minute course on December 30th. So I almost think of it as like a bit of a goal setting, like getting your outline of how you're going to tackle this project in the new year going. And then the course itself starts January 15th. It's going to be 8 weeks of working directly with Carolyn and I. It's going to be really fun. We'll include links to that in the show notes as well. But I'm super excited to see who shows up and how it goes. I think even if you don't actually plan to publish anything, if you just want to get a little bit deeper with your journaling. I was actually even thinking for the webinar, someone who wants to get better at visualization on the note of mental performance skills. I think being able to
Yeah.
write out your race day scenario can be so helpful. And the more granular you can get with those details, the more you can write out the different scenarios that might happen for better or worse, and how you can kind of work through them. The better you are at descriptive writing, I think it's so good for your athletic performance. Sounds weird, but I think
Hey,
visualization
you're not
works.
young. I'm giggling because I'm like, you're not using your favorite new word. I'm like, this course will help you gain chutzpah.
There we go. I think that's gonna be like the next that'll be like a little tagline on it.
Yeah. Come get your
100%.
chutzpah.
Get your chutzpah here.
Ah, such a good point. It's okay. I actually haven't thought about this since right before. So before Pan Am Games, I wrote out all the different outcomes that might happen. and how I wanted the race to go. And I wrote them very detailed. Anyways, I learned it. Michael Phelps used to do this. So yeah, all his visualization, like they would write. He did a lot of writing, and like I can't remember which episode we talked about like that connection of like pen to paper, right? And the richer the details and like gratitude and kindness, like you will get better at this. But like you have to practice, and you have to be like kind to yourself, hold yourself accountable to do it. So, anyways, I'm so excited for you and this course. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's going to
sold.
be
I'm in.
really, really fun.
I'm sold.
You're in. Of course you're in. It's going to be really fun. So yeah, we'll include links to that in the show notes. And then I guess actually last shout out before I think we start wrapping up is Shred Girls Book Club. We're reading book 3, Jen's Bumpy Ride, and two-time mountain bike world champion, founder of the She Sends Foundation, Kate Courtney, is joining us on a Zoom in early January, January 6th, I believe, to chat with us about the book, which is really all about kind of what success, what a team, what friendship, what winning looks like to all of us. So I'm really stoked for that one. It's going to be super fun. Again, link in the show notes if you want to sign up for the book club, sign someone in your life up for the book club, etc. And yes, if you already own Jen's Bumpy Ride, you can just message me and I will send you the link to the Zoom and the PDF of the sort of prompts to be thinking about ahead of that.
Okay, kindness and gratitude. Also, shout out to my amazing friend Molly for writing so many amazing books. If you're looking for a gift for your child, I cannot recommend the Shred Girl series enough.
Ah, so grateful for you, Sasha. Actually, on that note, we're putting Sasha's gift guide picks in
Oh yeah.
this episode show notes. Obviously, Sasha's Unstoppable Journal, really for athletes of any age, definitely perfect for any young athlete. And this one is genderless is not really the right word, gender agnostic. So, like, this is a great gift for
Gender
boys, for
free?
girls, gender free. Yeah. Girls,
All
boys,
gender?
non-binary, everybody, everyone can benefit from this journal. I have to say, I was like, frankly, okay, I'm not even gonna lie on this podcast. I was really using it pre and post workout to do a reel about the journal and was just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna BS doing this for this. Honestly, I loved it. I
Oh,
was like, oh my God, this is great. So I'm a committed, devoted fan of this journal. I was like doing it for the gram, and then I was like, oh, I do actually feel better. This is really good. I've learned a thing.
oh my gosh. Yep.
So you heard it here first, folks. It works. And we've been hearing from people who've gotten copies of it since it came out. It's available in bulk. So if your whole team wants it, definitely hit us up. Yeah, any last thoughts on gratitude, kindness, etc. before we wrap up?
I'm grateful for you, Molly.
Oh, I'm grateful for you. Oh, also just like quick reminder, Tuesday is going to be Giving Tuesday. So, if you're feeling a little how do I put this? Like gross from your Black Friday shopping, like a little like over consumption-y from from any of that, definitely, Giving Tuesday. Give back to one of the really cool nonprofits or charities that are doing great things, whether it's for girls in sport, dachshunds in need of rescue, etc., whatever floats your boat. Do that.
Oh, I love
It'll
that.
make you feel better. All right. Without further ado, let's wrap this up. Everyone, enjoy your long weekend, the kickoff to the holiday season, and we'll see you back here in a couple weeks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Strong Girl Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, definitely head over to wherever you listen to podcasts and rate, review, and of course, subscribe so you never miss another episode. And head over to stronggirlpublishing.com to check out all of the books by Strong Girl Publishing's authors, including Molly Herford, Misha Powell, and so many more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.